One huge problem is that a lot of schools don't even know what the Title IX coordinator is supposed to do. There was a program on TV about this. I want to show you a lawyer whose research was involved in that TV report. Now she's a Title IX coordinator.
Hi, come on in. Have a seat.
Hi.
Hi, what brings you here today?
Well, I read online that school districts are supposed to have a Title IX coordinator to help students dealing with sexual harassment.
Yes, that's true. I'm actually our district's Title IX coordinator. First, let me tell you a little bit about what I do as a Title IX coordinator, and then we can talk through a little bit about what's going on with your children.
Okay.
First, I help work with students and parents to inform them what Title IX is, which is a federal civil rights law that protects children from harassment. I help ensure that our school district complies with its obligations under Title IX to offer a safe learning environment that is free from all forms of gender discrimination. I help ensure that our district has a clear policy and procedures for handling sexual harassment complaints. I also conduct trainings with administrators and staff yearly, and I provide support throughout the year as issues arise to ensure that all students' rights under Title IX are being upheld. I also provide support for schools while they conduct Title IX investigations, also to ensure that each school is complying with the law. Do you mind if I take notes today to make sure that I'm getting down all of your information?
No, you don't mind if I do?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Let me tell you what's going on. 3 of my kids are being harassed. My first grader, Zach, a boy forced him to perform sexual acts in the boys' bathroom. Now, when I told the principal, he told me to stop overreacting. He said, oh, boys will be boys, and kids their age aren't capable of sexual assault. Now, Zach, he's afraid to go to school. Then there's Emma, my daughter in middle school. The boys, well, they grab her butt and her breasts, and a couple of the boys, they make sexual gestures to her in class when the teacher isn't looking. Well, Emma told her counselor that she can't concentrate in class. So he said that he would call the boys in and talk to them. Well, afterwards he told her that the boys deny everything. So he said they could all sit down and have a restorative meeting so that all the students could be on the same page. But the boys, they just deny everything again. Right away afterwards, they start teasing and harassing her even more. I told the school again that nothing had been done about the original harassment or the retaliation that followed. Then my oldest daughter, Chloe, she's having a problem with her engineering teacher. I mean, she's taking the class even though the counselor at school told her that engineering is a better class for guys. Well, when she said she wanted to take the class anyway, he told her that she was going to have a really hard time because she's a girl. Well, Chloe took the class anyway. And on the second day, her engineering teacher started to comment on how nice Chloe looks. Then the next day, he leaned in and he touched her leg while he was looking at her work. Then he gives her his cell phone number in case she needs any extra help. He told her that he could help her to get better grades if they met outside of school. I mean, Chloe is afraid to tell anybody about him, and she's worried that it's going to affect her grade.
I am so sorry that your kids are all going through this. Have the schools done anything to stop the harassment other than what you just told me?
No, they haven't. It's crucial that this harassment stops immediately. I need my kids to feel safe and supported at school, and it's just not happening. What can you do to help me?
Well, do you wish to file a formal complaint with the school? If so, I'll designate an individual at each school to begin formal investigation process of each of these complaints. Let me tell you how the investigation will look. The investigator will start by speaking with your children to obtain additional information. They will also want to know if you have any documentation that shows that you informed the school of these complaints. They will also ask you to identify any other students, staff members, anyone else who might have information that can help to understand what's going on and what each of the schools have done. After that, the investigator will go to the school and speak with the principals, teachers, students, or anyone else that you've identified as having information. The school has 60 days to complete its investigation and issue a written notice of outcome. I will oversee each investigation to ensure that the process is equitable and timely. If you're not comfortable with anyone at the school district conducting the investigation, you can file a formal complaint with my office as the Title IX coordinator, and I can oversee and actually conduct the investigation myself. And it'll go through the same process that I mentioned before, but it would be my office doing it instead of the school site. Also, when there's no sexual assault, you can go through a less formal process and try to resolve the matter with the other students through mediation or other restorative practices, if they are done correctly, that is. Given what you told me, though, I think these cases are severe enough that the less formal process would not necessarily be appropriate. But I wanted to tell you that nonetheless. In the meantime, I will contact the principals to make sure that while the investigation is going, the school takes immediate steps to stop the harassment. Are there any specific accommodations you need while the investigations are taking place?
Like what?
Like a safety plan to keep the students apart, counseling services, or extra time to complete an assignment that are late as a result of the hostile environment?
I'll have to get back to you if any additional accommodations are needed. But it is really important, I think, that all my kids get safety plans put in place immediately. Especially in Emma's case, because she was immediately retaliated against and she's regretting saying anything.
Well, Title IX also protects students and parents from retaliation for reporting sexual harassment of any kind of sex discrimination. This would also be the case for Chloe. For example, she cannot get a lower grade because she complained about the harassment. One of my jobs is to ensure that you and your children are not punished or retaliated against for reporting sexual harassment. If there is retaliation, I will take strong corrective action. I will address this on my first call to the principal and put any additional protections in motion to keep further retaliation from occurring. It's also important that you check in with Emma and all your kids regularly to find out if it is continuing at school and to let me know immediately so that I can work with the school to keep her safe.
But what if Emma wants the behavior to stop and she wants an investigation, but she doesn't want anyone to know that she's filed a formal complaint after the restorative conference with the counselor?
Many students don't report sexual harassment or violence because they fear revealing their name, and some do not want any investigation to take place or the harasser to be punished. My job is to honor the students' wishes for confidentiality as much as possible. At the same time, I have to ensure that the school environment is safe and free from sexual discrimination for all students, including your daughter. We encourage students to report because that might encourage their friends to report also, so then the school environment can become much healthier. If the student insists on full confidentiality, I should tell you that it might limit the district's ability to investigate and seek any additional remedies and/or punish any of the students. I think you should definitely talk to Emma about these options and get back to me. I want to be sure to respect her and your wishes before I speak to the principal and begin an investigation.
This is all so great. Thank you very much. I had no idea that a Title IX coordinator could help us with all these problems. You know, I saw a TV report online which said that the Bay Area principals even don't know about Title IX. Why is it that people just don't know about Title IX? So many people don't know.
Title IX has been the law for over 40 years, but unfortunately, staff and students in many, if not most, K-12 schools across the country are not adequately trained on the protections, the rights, and responsibilities under Title IX. Fortunately, there are national organizations such as the American Association of University Women, Equal Rights Advocates, the National Women's Law Center, Stop Sexual Assault in Schools, Public Justice, Feminist Majority Foundation, Legal Momentum, and Know Your Nine, and who are all working to raise awareness that Title IX not only applies to colleges, but to K-12 schools as well.
Well, it really would have helped if we'd known about the Title IX coordinator before all this happened. How can we get the word out about what you do?
Title IX coordinators are responsible for training teachers and staff members to make sure that they can identify issues that arise under Title IX. Once teachers and staff members are better trained, they can help students through these difficult situations and inform them of their rights. Districts should also send annual notices about their sexual harassment and gender discrimination policies to teachers, staff, and students. Districts and schools should also make resources easily available online so that the students and parents can find the information about Title IX and how the complaint process works. I encourage parents to invite Title IX coordinators to their parent-teacher organization meetings to learn about Title IX, and I always encourage students to form groups to learn how to continue to spread the word about Title IX and become advocates for this very, very important issue.
Well, okay, I think it would be better if the district and your office investigates. I think the best thing would be to create the safety plans, and then you can start your investigations.
That sounds like a great plan. I also want to tell you that I plan to speak with the school counselor who discouraged Chloe from taking engineering class. That's a form of gender discrimination too. And I'll make sure that the counselor whom your daughter reported the harassment to gets trained so that students know the reports are being taken seriously. As for Chloe's teacher, I'll be in touch with the Human Resource Department, who will be looped into the investigation as well. They will go through their normal processes also. And Chloe will not have to take class while the investigation is taking place. So please assure her that we'll be making other arrangements for her engineering class. So please speak to your kids about what we talked about and let me know if they need any other accommodations. And I'll get started with contacting the principals today.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to know that there is a Title IX coordinator to help students and parents with these issues.
You're very, very welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.